Do you see me? The best way to understand our clients is to listen to their stories. I know in my 18 years in the finance industry, I've worked a long time to continually develop my own story, but sometimes we need to realize in order to connect and build relationships with others, we need to listen to their stories. We need to connect with them on a level beyond our products or services that we're trying to offer to them. We need to understand where they're coming from in their lives. Simple questions about their family, their children, if they don't have kids, their hobbies maybe, something that you can actually communicate with them to connect. And how do we do that? By asking questions, right? Leading questions that are going to bring out their ability to tell you a story about what exactly you asked them. And to ensure that you give them the time to relate and to share their story about what you asked. So don't ask the question of your client or whoever it is that you're communicating with if you don't actually have time to, listen to the answer, to actually absorb what it is that they're saying. And throughout what people tell you within their story, usually there can be other questions. Prime example is, I'll use an example even of doing podcasting. When I can have a list of questions to ask, and I can ask one pointed question, and that question will lead to other questions because of the fact of their ability to share their story and me listen. I will hear other things within that story that I want to have more details about. And I'll say, well, that is fantastic what you just shared with me. Can you tell me a little bit more about this part of what you were just telling me? So you're actually diving in deeper into their story because you are listening to their story. In order to get to know them better, stories that they tell you are the key element that's going to tie you to them. That's going to show you exactly, or pardon me, in your mindset, it'll explain to you exactly who they are, at least with what they're sharing with you, and it gives you the ability to dive deeper into that relationship that you're trying to develop. But if all you're ever doing is focusing on just asking, little pointed questions that you want a bullet point response to, and you're not really looking for a story, you're going to always fail, in my opinion. So let's say you ask a client, a potential client or somebody you're trying to deal with a question, and they give you a little bullet point answer. Don't be afraid to say, hey, such and such, I like that. That sounds great. Can you tell me a story behind that? Could you tell me something that could, make it better, make it better for me to understand exactly what you're, discussing, or where you're coming from, or can you tie that to somebody in your life? Can you explain that a little bit more, what you just said? So you don't have to sit back and accept a little bullet point answer from somebody when you ask them a question. You can learn how to pivot that into our communication with them, a discussion, so that you can actually pull a story out of that person. And that story will help you better relate to them, better connect to them, and create, in some cases, the starting point, the catalyst to a lifelong friendship. And that lifelong connection and friendship with that client throughout years and years of connection, and you continually developing the ability to listen to them, and they'll get to a point where you'll ask something and it'll automatically tie into a story because you've created that comfortableness between you and them, right? That will help you, again, cement a stronger and better relationship. But it always, in my opinion, always starts with the story. Your story has to be solid for yourself. Thus, you have the ability to bring the story out of others. And actually, when they do tell you their stories, make sure you're listening closely. Again, listening is the number one skill that we all need, and it's also the number one thing most of us suffer with because we don't listen properly. So when they're telling you this story, make sure you listen to their stories very intently for the next question or a comment or a response to what they're telling you. It will let them understand that you do care, and hopefully you're not phony and you actually care, but you'll be able to connect with them on a better level when you listen to their stories, are able to comment back in a very sincere way, whether it's just, this is what I heard. Can you also tell me more about what it is that you just explained? Can you specifically expand on this point that you brought up when you were sharing that story? I hope this makes sense. I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Feel free to DM me, drop me a comment below. Tell me what you think storytelling is important for, right? Tell me how storytelling has affected your life. Tell me anything that you want to share in regards to connecting with others using the ability to tell stories yourself or listen to their stories and build that stronger connection with them. I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. God bless you all. Peace out. Stay out of trouble. Stay safe. And I look forward to talking to you tomorrow.